I've been eating coconut cult for about 3 weeks now, and here's my brutally honest
I have seen so many people on my phone eating this prebiotics.
I've been taking coconut cult for years.
Though coconut cult has been all the rage lately, well, kind of, I'm a little late to the train. It first piqued my interest when I watched Gloom's I tried the strictest anti-aging daily routine video, in which she took a spoonful of the product and she praised its ability and how it's really helped her decrease her bloating.
And then I always take a spoonful of some kind of probiotic yogurt. This is a very trendy, popular one. This is called Coconut Cult. If I ate, I would be bloated. That was just the way it was for me. I thought that was adulthood. That's how things were supposed to go. And then I started taking like really heavy duty probiotic yogurts. And now my relationship with food has gotten so much more positive because I used to feel punished.
And I mean, look at her. She looks great. But can a yogurt really help us achieve our dream bodies? So what is coconut cult and does it actually work? Looking at the packaging, it is clearly labeled and advertised as a probiotic coconut yogurt. Probiotics. It's a term that you've likely seen on some food or supplement at some point. But what is it? Well, the International Scientific Association for Probiotics and Prebiotics defines them as live organisms that, when administered in adequate amounts, confer a health benefit on the host. A fancy way of saying beneficial bacteria. In the About section on the Coconut Cult website, they explain their yogurt is different than others as, while traditional pasteurization kills all the good bacteria in yogurt, we lovingly ferment and nurture our precious probiotics instead. Which is true. Pasteurization is the process of heating a product high and long enough to kill any harmful microorganisms before consumption. This process is really important because it kills extremely harmful pathogenic bacteria such as Salmonella and harmful strains of E. coli. However, it also kills all bacteria, even the good stuff. According to Rachel Reeves, a clinical dietitian at the University of Rochester Medical Center, when milk is pasteurized prior to yogurt production, beneficial bacteria is lost too, including, okay, give me a second, Lactobacillus bulgaricus, Streptococcus thermophilus, and Lactobacillus acidophilus. That's a mouthful. Hi, new day, new me. Sorry, the background got really noisy, so I had to stop. Anyway, it's important to note that yogurt isn't void of all probiotics. After pasteurization, the milk is cooled to recreate an optimal temperature for bacteria growth. According to Colorado State University, the probiotics Streptococcus thermophilus and Lactobacillus bulgaricus are added back into the milk in order to break down the sugars in it, otherwise known as lactose, into lactic acid during fermentation. This is what thickens the milk into yogurt and gives it its tangy flavor. But Coconut Cult claims that they don't pasteurize their yogurt and instead they only ferment it. But how? Does this mean with every spoonful I'm pushing back mouthfuls of salmonella? Well, no. I was extremely confused on this too when researching for this video, but looking at the ingredients for the original Coconut Cult flavor on their website, it contains ingredients such as organic coconut cream, which simply has to be pasteurized to ensure safe consumption. Is this a lie? Is this poor wording? I don't know. But upon further research on multiple blogs discussing Coconut Cult, they explain how their pasteurization process differs because after that fermentation process we just talked about, they don't pasteurize. But this isn't special. In fact, most yogurts aren't pasteurized after fermentation because in most cases, there's no real need to. So what really makes Coconut Cult different than other yogurts? Well, we can start off with the fact that Coconut Cult isn't even a yogurt. Let me explain. According to the FAO under the UN, yogurt has two definitions, but using the broader one, yogurt is fermented milk containing cultures of Streptococcus thermophilus and any Lactobacillus species. If we take a look at the ingredient list for the original Coconut Cult flavor on their website, we can see that, yes, it in fact does contain Streptococcus thermophilus and many variations of the Lactobacillus species. However, it doesn't have the most important part, milk. There's organic coconut cream, coconut meat, and coconut water, but no milk. So if Coconut Cult isn't a yogurt, let's look at it in terms of their first claim to see if Coconut Cult actually works in favor of our health like the way we want it to. Under the About section on their official website, they claim coconut cult can be your daily dose of probiotics. Is this true? Can coconut cult really replace the typical probiotic supplement? Well, first, let's define what the daily dose of probiotics the average adult needs is. Probiotic dosage is typically expressed in CFU, or colony-forming units, which, according to Gina Jagger, a developmental specialist and lead research writer for Nordic Naturals, CFU estimates the number of live microbes capable of forming colonies in laboratories testing. Probiotics come in a wide range of CFUs, from the high millions to as many as 200 billion. So, how many CFUs should you intake daily? Well, Jagger recommends a daily dose of 10 to 20 billion CFU for everyday immune and digestive support. And if we go back to the Coconut Cult website, under the FAQ section, their daily serving size of 2 fluid ounces contains a whopping 100 billion CFU. 100 billion is a lot. Or is it? While Jagger recommends a daily dose of 10 to 20 billion CFU for daily immune and digestive support, according to Cedars-Sinai, unless one is particularly probiotic deficient, the average adult human gut already contains over 100 trillion bacteria, making even the probiotic supplements with higher CFUs of, in this case, 100 billion, like you're putting a drop of dye in the ocean. And if 100 billion out of 100 trillion is hard to picture for you, 100 billion of 100 trillion is not 10, 5, or even 1%. Your daily dose of coconut cult intake contributes to a measly 0.1% of your total gut microbiome. And on top of that, according to Amanda Gingrasso, an instructor of medicine at the Mayo Clinic College of Medicine and Science, that 100 trillion is comprised of over 1,000 different species of bacteria. Taking probiotics isn't about supplementing your gut with more bacteria. It's more so taking the right one for you in your own gut microbiome. But microbiome kits are expensive, and they only provide a short snapshot of the living bacteria inside our gut. So going back to our first question, can coconut cult stand as your daily probiotic supplement? Yeah, but probiotic supplements aren't really worth the investment. Still, the benefits people claim are huge. So let's take a look at each probiotic and break this down. If we take a look at the list of probiotics that they blend in their yogurt under the original flavor, there's a lot. But let's just look at the first one. L. helveticus, or in other words, Lactobacillus helveticus. Lactobacillus. Sounds familiar, huh? Well, that's because probiotics are named in order of their genus, species, and then, in instances of higher specificity, strain. Since there are so many different probiotics listed here, I will be grouping and describing them by their genus, or their prefix, with some exceptions that don't really have a group to go under. So first we have the Lactobacillus genus, which makes up 4 out of the 16 probiotics within this yogurt. Lactobacillus. Other than aiding in general gut health, which practically all of the genus I will be discussing do, it also assists in gastrointestinal health. Next is the Bifidobacterium genus, which also makes up 4 out of 16 of the probiotic blend and helps immune system support and cognitive health. And the Lacti-Casei bacillus gene, which makes up 2 out of the 16 of the probiotic blend, and has no notable benefits other than its aid in gut health. The Limocilactobacillus genus also makes up 2 out of the 16 of the blend and supports metabolism and anti-inflammation. Lactiplanti-bacillus makes up 1 out of the 16 in the blend and aids in gastrointestinal health and anti-inflammation as well as metabolism. Ligulactobacillus makes up 1 out of the 16 of the blend and is an antioxidant and aids in metabolism. And finally, there is Lactococcus and Streptococcus, which make up 1 out of the 16 of the blend respectively. These two don't serve much benefit and are primarily present in order to help ferment the yogurt. They're also generally pretty common within yogurt, so other than those last two, the benefits sound great, and they do in fact match up with most of the benefits that people have claimed after eating coconut cult. If only these probiotics actually provided the benefits I just listed. Don't freak out, I didn't just lie to you. All the information I just provided came directly from credible sources, all derived from the National Library of Medicine. However, with every study that listed the potential benefits of each probiotic, it was always explicitly stated that the benefits were just that, potential. They were proven apparent in their research, but research on probiotics is currently extremely limited, and none of the benefits are super concrete without extensive research. But why is that? Why is this so under-researched? Well, while I have no concrete answer for you, one reason could be the increasing shift of focusing on the research of prebiotics instead. Prebiotics. So what's a prebiotic? Well, if probiotics are the healthy bacteria in your gut, think about prebiotics as the food that nourishes that bacteria. Prebiotics are a type of fiber present in many of the foods that we eat. Due to their molecular complexity, they're not able to be digested, so therefore they're able to reach your gut for your microbiome to feed on. Additionally, while we previously established that the average adult doesn't need a probiotic supplement to support a healthy gut microbiome, studies show that the average adult severely lacks prebiotics. According to Catherine D. McManus at Harvard Medical School, the typical American adult only intakes around 10 to 15 grams of total fiber per day, whilst the USDA's recommended daily amount for adults age 50 and under is 25 grams for women and 38 for men. This is critical because this means that the average American adult is severely lacking in the proper amount of prebiotics needed in order to support a healthy gut microbiome. So whilst coconut coal is marketed and praised for its probiotics, its real secret is within its inclusion of prebiotics. Wait, what? I thought this was a probiotic supplement. Well, under the FAQ section on the official Coconut Cult website, in their answer to why is your yogurt so expensive, they explain how, whilst they are marketed as a probiotic, their yogurt is actually symbiotic, meaning it contains probiotics and prebiotics, as their coconut base provides the prebiotics to nourish your gut. And since we're talking about coconuts, oh my god, are these things packed with nutritional value. According to the USDA, the average medium-sized coconut contains a whopping 35.7 grams of fiber within its meat. For women, that's way over the recommended intake, and for men, that just about meets it. Now, granted, if we look at the serving size for coconut coal, it's nowhere near the same as eating a whole coconut. Though I don't know who casually does that anyway. It's only 2 grams. However, when the average American fails to achieve the recommended daily intake of fiber, it's little increases like this throughout the day in what you eat that will really help meet that. So there you have it. That's the secret. That's the secret behind the coconut coal, hiding behind its yogurt disguise. The benefit behind this product isn't the fermentation or probiotics it boasts about, but the prebiotics hidden within its coconutty taste. And that's the real scoop. But taking what we've learned, is coconut coal worth it? And honestly, in my opinion, I would say no. First of all, coconut coal comes in 2 sizes, a smaller 8 fluid ounce jar and a larger 16 ounce one. If we take a look at the nutrition label on their website, we can see that the recommended serving size is 2 fluid ounces. Since we've established that coconut coal serves mainly more as your daily probiotic supplement than a yogurt and is also intended to be taken daily by the company, one small 8 ounce jar of coconut coal will only last you 4 days. That's like barely half a week. And if we take a look at the larger 16 ounce jar, that would only last you about a week. 8 days to be exact. Knowing this, let's look at the price. Looking on the websites of 2 of my local grocery stores and Amazon, the price of one 8 ounce jar of coconut coal was universally $9.99. Though this could potentially vary by state, I don't really know. And the price of the 16 ounce jar is $17.99. So whether you ordered 2 small jars a week or just 1 large one, that would mean in order to make a serious commitment to this product and experience its full benefits, you would be spending around $20 a week, or, a little over $80 a month. It's one expensive subscription. But let's say that price isn't a concern for you and you can afford to spend a little extra cash. Even then, the benefits aren't extraordinary. For the average American adult, probiotics don't really benefit our gut microbiome in the same way that prebiotics do. And when people on TikTok rave about the benefits that they've experienced after taking coconut coal, it's most likely due to that little extra fiber intake within the coconut base. Okay, I won't buy coconut coal. But what do I do instead? I'm so glad you asked, and the answer is simple and way more cost efficient. In the same way that there are various probiotics with different functions within our bodies, there are many different prebiotics that nourish the different types of these probiotics. And it's for that reason that whilst taking a probiotic supplement isn't very helpful, taking a prebiotic supplement isn't either. I mean, it's just not your best bet unless you want to go through the lengthy and expensive process of microbiome testing. So the answer is simple. Since prebiotics are a type of fiber, eat more fiber. Really, try to incorporate more fiber-rich foods within your diet. The USDA actually includes a very extensive list of good food sources for dietary fiber. Some of these include white lima beans, which 1 cup of them contain around 13.2 grams of fiber when cooked, or keeping on our theme of breakfast food, ready-to-eat cereal, that's high fiber and unsweetened. Think Bran contains around 14 grams of fiber per 1/2 cup. And even if neither of those are your cup of tea, then this list the USDA provides contains over 100 other food sources to up that daily fiber intake. The way I like to do this is actually take a few prunes after every meal. I found that this has really helped my digestion and doesn't cost an obscene amount. I got a really big bag at Costco, so not sponsored. Do I even have to say that? And granted, is coconut cold still a way to increase that daily fiber intake? Yeah, though minimal, yes. But it's gonna be a little hard to find a use for all those jars after a while, making the whole endeavor honestly pretty wasteful, especially when just having a more balanced diet with fiber will benefit you so much more than this yogurt ever will. So yeah, don't join the coconut cult.